Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm very pleased to be with you, and thanks for having me. I'm really grateful, Martin and David, inviting me here. I would like to speak to you and facing you in the eyes, but English is not my language, so I'm going to read my text. I'm sorry. My name is Marilaine Savard, and I've been living in Lac Megantic region in the last decade. So as you know, if I'm here tonight, it's to share with you the tragedy that hit our town July 6, 2013. That night, a train loaded with crude oil derailed and exploded in downtown Lac Megantic, killing 47 people. Since mid-November, I became the spokesperson of a citizen committee that was funded to follow up on decontaminating the area and other issues that the community of Lac Megantic has had to deal with in the wake of the disaster. Look, as you see, Lac Megantic was a little peaceful town in southern Quebec near the Maine border. The town was surrounded by the wonderful Megantic Lake. You can go to the next slide. And Chaudière River. And you can go slowly. The town had a particular character with only 6,000 people living in the area. So it's really little town. It was founded at the end of the 19th century, and since the beginning, the railroad played a major role in the economic and industrial development. You can go. For a long time, the convoys were only transporting logs or passengers. But during the last year, the transport of hazardous material has been increasing exponentially. So you saw the lake, and then this is the Chaudière River. This is the discharge of the lake. So when MMA, the Montreal, Maine and Atlantic Railway, become the owner of the railroad, tons of convoy of crude oil started to cross the town. For giving you an idea of how important was the traffic in the last years, more than 140,000 cars were passing by in 2013 instead of 500 in 2009. The major problem was that company was recognized to minimize maintenance and for receiving many warnings of non-conformance. At the same time, the federal government was made a huge regulation lax and authorized MMA since spring 2010 to drive the trains with only one operator. Also, they were authorized to park the oil convoy at night with any supervision. Meanwhile, the driver was sleeping in an hotel 5 miles away. So that night, on July 6, the train was left alone on the main track, when in fact it should have been parked on the shoulder, which is the way to do things according to the safety rules which protect the train in case of brakes failure. That night, you can go, I'm sorry. That night, the firemen from the nearby village came over to extinguish a fire that started in the engine. The fire was controlled and the train was left again without surveillance. Just before 1 o'clock, without knowing all the details related to negligence about the activation of the handbrakes, the train started to move downward without conductor, descending a hill of 1.2%, which is one of the worst slopes for a train in Canada. So you can see here where the train derailed and how close it was from a bar that was loaded of human beings. The 72 cars train weighing 10,300 tons is arriving 5 miles further down in downtown Lac Megantic at 60 miles per hour. The train cannot cope with the curve that is there. You cannot see, but there's a big, huge curve just close to the buildings. and derails. There is an immense blast generated by the impact of the cars, loaded with a huge and out of control fire is propagating through the buildings and trees. You can go. People are trapped and burning. We felt it was the apocalypse. We've never been through such a stress. You can go. It took 36 hours to control the blaze. 47 people died. Luckily, most of the businesses were closed at that night of the day. If not, more people could have died. You can go. 40 buildings burned down. 1.5 million gallons of oil were spilled. And from that, 26,000 gallons were discharged in the Chaudière River. So you can go. So the blaze another time. And we can see a little bit further. This is the oil burning and entering in the lake. So the lake was burning too. It was incredible to see. And you can still go. And this is the contamination that we had in the river. Many citizens, in comparison, the contaminated area is equivalent to 50 football fields. MMA is now bankrupt, leaving the citizen broken down with the $2 million plan for decontaminating the area. Many citizens rang the alarm about the possibility that such catastrophe could occur, but because of the poor condition of the railway and because of the increasing number of convoys with dangerous goods. Unfortunately, the authorities turned to a deaf ear. You can go further. And another time. This is the cars. And this is all the area that burns. In fact, it was our downtown. There's no more downtown Lac Megantic. It's a completely desolation site. You can have another one. And another one. This is the whole thing. You can stay there. Looking back to the whole thing, it seems to me that the government left too much ground to the industry, leaving the safety of the citizens to economic priorities. The industry is too powerful. There has got to be a better balance between regulators and industries. The first function of the government should be to protect its citizens, not to assist the shareholders. But the majority thinks that the government works for us. The majority thinks that the government applies safety rules that protect us. But this is not the case. Both Canada and United States are producing a huge amount of oil and gas, and as citizens, we are paying a high social and environmental price for this. In Canada, the conservative politics are jeopardize our safety. They shrank the budget for increasing the railroads and creating emergency plan in case of industrial catastrophe. Obviously, we cannot trust our government, and that is why citizen-led committees are important. So tonight, I am here to urge the community of San Francisco Bay Area to demand that their health and safety be put ahead of corporate profit. Please stand up and mobilize. It's a citizen battle, and let's have a hope that we can change things. Thank you.